Well, hello. It is Jamila McMallow, mindset coach for women executives and entrepreneurs. And I wanted to hop on here to go live to talk to you about the topic no, women do not need to normalize bragging or other male traits or tactics. I think it's so unfortunate that it is a common belief that as women, especially more in the entrepreneurial space, I get it. Corporate America, because I live in America, is kind of like its own animal, own beast that's long standing. A lot of things have changed and grown, et cetera, over the years, but I get it. It's kind of an entity that you didn't have anything to do with. However, in the entrepreneurial space, you are your business as a woman. And I know that there are many women who work in corporate and have their own business. But I wanted to talk about this because it's something I've noticed and seen that women will try to, brag about themselves and talk about themselves. And I want to talk to you about why that's not a strategy that works for us because we don't brag about ourselves. We brag about each other. Women brag about each other. That's who we will go on and on and on about is that woman that made us feel special, that made us feel seen, heard, and valued, etc. That's who we will go on and on and about to everybody that we know. And that's what word of mouth is. It's us spreading it with our mouths. That's how we work. It's just how we're designed. And it's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It just is. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why it doesn't feel good when we do it. That's why it's off-putting and it turns us off when we see another woman doing it. Now, we may not brag, but we definitely celebrate. We commend, we honor, and we esteem each other. So that's the difference. We do it for each other. So that's why really we don't have to do it for ourselves. Now, yes, as high performers, as high achieving women, we do need to take the time to reflect upon our achievements and accomplishments and allow ourselves to really celebrate that and to let it sink in. Absolutely, because we don't want to continue to push in the pursuit of a feeling that we may never get or constantly trying to prove something to ourselves, about ourselves, or whatever. No, we do want to stop and acknowledge and celebrate all of the good things that we've done. Yes, that's going to be good for us emotionally and mentally. However, we don't need to go around beating our chest talking about how great we are. It doesn't attract any. Now, I'll put it like this: if your clients are women, this is important for you to understand. If your clients are women, this is important. If you work with men, this may work with them. But I want to share this with you. I'm a Christian. I read the Bible, and in there it talks about husbands and wives, and it says that a husband is to love his wife as his own body, and a wife is to have deep respect for her husband. Now, what does that mean? Okay, and you'll see where I'm going with this when it comes to men and women and bragging, etc. Men are more driven by respect. That's why it's telling wives to respect your husband. It's not saying that men don't know how to love, and it's not saying that wives don't know how to respect, but it's simply informing you on what is important to each person. So respect is something that is very important to men, and love and connection is something that is very important to women. That's why the scripture tells them to work on that for each other so that they're each giving each other what they need. So you have to understand that men go out into the world because respect and status is what drives them. As women, we're driven by something different: love and connection, relationships. That's how it's designed. It's how we move through life. If you really stopped and think about it, everybody in your orbit, in your world right now, you're currently navigating or managing a relationship on a it's how we do things. You're managing relationships all the time. Well, men, like I said, are looking for respect, and so of course they view their accomplishments and the things to look at them with admiration or with respect. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's why it's not, it's not the same. It doesn't hit the same when we try to do it. Think about how your husband pursued you, or the last guy you were in a relationship with. What did he do? He approaches you directly. He starts telling you, or maybe he asks you some questions, whatever. But what he's really trying to do is he's trying to impress you and win you over. That's what he is trying to do. And so as women, when we try to impress and win over, that's not how we do. That's not how we want to connect with each other. We want to feel a sense of commonality. We want to know that we're being understood, that we're being seen, that we're being heard. We want an emotional connection. As much as us high achieving, high performing women try to deny it, we are looking for an emotional connection in every relationship that we have, because it's just how we're wired. Okay. That's just how we roll. And when we work against that, then that's when we struggle. See, there's nothing wrong with the strategies that, tend to be viewed as masculine, right? For example, doing outreach. For all the years of my business, have always turned my nose up at, reaching out to people in the DMs. I'm like, and primarily it was because I was getting a lot of that direct approach in my DMs, which is kind of off-putting and a turnoff, right? It's the same reason why when you're out and that man just approaches you straight up and you're like, I don't even know you, and in your mind, you're going, what made you think you had a chance, all this, but all he's thinking is, hey, she's cute. I'm going for it. I got a 50-50 chance that she might say yes. And then I can slip into impress and win over mode. And hey, maybe I've got me a new woman. That's how he's going to go about it. But for me, like I'm sharing in this example, when people are coming at me like that in my messenger, it was to turn off. So that's not something I ever wanted to do in my business, but it is something that, is a strategy that's advised, etc. But what isn't really clarified is the way that you do it, right? So it's not that you're reaching out to people in the DMs and coming off direct, but it's that you're reaching out to them to create connections, to build relationships. Because why? That's what we do. And that's what we're really great at. And when my mentor challenged me, a few months ago, she didn't really challenge me, but she said, well, you guys to do outreach, whatever. Never done it before in my life. As far as, in this capacity, in this business and DM, whatever. And I just, started, whenever I make a friend request or receive whatever, just started sending a voice memo to say hi and introduce myself and just talk about random stuff. I have no strategy. I'm just genuinely and sincerely wanting to connect and get to know these women that I'm connected with, that have requested to be connected to me. And I'm telling you, I've had some of the most amazing conversations. I have met so many women that are doing such incredible things, and there's so much commonality, so much of an emotional connection there, that as I'm moving through different circles and things, I'm thinking about how could I connect her with this person, or what person do I know that could benefit from her services, or could I benefit from her services, or could she benefit from mine? Do you see what I'm saying? So when we approach things from our strengths and from our gifts as women, which is our ability to create relationships, our ability to create connection, our ability to make people feel loved, nurtured, seen, heard, all those things, those are not weaknesses, okay? That's not how that works. Nothing in how we are designed is a weakness. Our emotions are our superpower, because what we feel, we create. And so if we feel that we enjoy talking to and meeting other women, like I said, if that's your client base, then it's not some ugly, dark thing to say what's up or hello. And it's not received that way either. Because even in my days past of like being, if someone sent me a memo and it was like, hey, then I responded differently. And so all I'm saying today is we do not have as women, we do not have to keep acting like, we need to normalize acting like men in order to get what we want. False. No, we don't. The strategies that are set out in sales and marketing, etc., they can work for us, but we have to do it according to our way. We have to do it according to our strengths. We have to do it according to the way that we're designed. And I'm a feminine woman. Femininity works for me. I love connection. I love collaboration. I love conversation. I love talking about emotions and deep things. I love all of that. That's me. That's who I am. And I don't view that as a weakness. And that's really, I guess, what I'm trying to share today is that is what I see in other women. It's not your weakness. I have conversations all the time with women who view their emotions as a weakness, who view that need for connection as a weakness. It's not. We're different. We are made different. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. Absolutely, you can work with male mentors and they can teach you lots of things about business and sales and strategy. Absolutely. No question about it. But just remember that you're still a woman and you have a way about you that you move through the world and through life that does not have to be disconnected from your business. You don't have to try to be your male mentor in order to get success in your business. You need to take what he's giving you and translate it into the way that you speak and connect with other women. And that's how you make it work. So that's what I'm saying to you is you don't need to try to outman a man. You don't. And I'm going to tell you this is a little side tip on a different subject. I'll just digress for a moment. When women say things to me like, oh, men, they're intimidated by me. No, they're not. You're never going to outman a man. He's not intimidated by you. He doesn't like you because you make him feel disrespected. Remember I talked about in the beginning that men like to be respected? So keep that in mind too, is that if the men around you are turning their noses up, it is not because they're intimidated by you. They feel disrespected. And men do not like to feel disrespected, just like women do not like to feel unloved, ignored, and like our emotions and our feelings don't matter. We like to be seen and acknowledged, heard, valued, viewed as important. Our feelings, we want somebody to handle our emotions and our feelings with care. Okay. Now I'll share this with you as well. If you are a woman that's really great at sales tactics, male selling style, ain't nothing wrong with that. You're going to make a lot of money doing that. But I bet you have found yourself in a lot of toxic relationships with some female clients. And I'll tell you why. Because for some of us as women, we've been through things in our lives that have caused us to respond to men in a way to where we acquiesce. For example, when we're approached by a man or to ask us for our number or if he expresses an interest, do we feel obligated to give him our number or to come up with some reason or lie because we're more concerned about hurting his feelings than our own feelings? You see what I'm saying? So some of us have that wound there and that way of navigating and interacting relationships with men. So you may find if you're using masculine tactics, you will close some women clients, but they may end up not being the right clients for you because what you didn't get, or maybe and I believe you got it, but you ignored it, was that they weren't a good fit because they weren't signing up with you for the right reasons. They felt obligated because they didn't want to hurt your feelings or make you feel bad and felt the need to acquiesce to what they perceived as maybe a pressure or an expectation. Do you see what I'm saying? But when we're coming at another woman like we come at each other, there's like no, how can I put it? There's no feeling of pressure or like push or shove or any of that. I don't know how to describe it. Like I said, I've just been connecting with some really powerful, amazing women, and it's blowing my mind. This is something new for me that I'm embracing in my business and that I'm just sharing with you because it goes to an overall conversation that as women, we feel like we're not allowed to be who we are and really what we are in the workplace or in our businesses. We still are creating a disconnect from who we really are between our emotions and how we show up professionally. And what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be that way. Our emotions are not something that make us irrational, unstable, crazy, all these things. Emotions, feelings have a whole range. many of them positive, many of them good. And when you learn how to wield the power of your emotions as a woman, you become a very powerful creator in your own life. You can change your circumstances. You can change relationships. You can change so much. You do it all the time, but you're not aware of it. And so my challenge to you is to give yourself the space and grace to reconnect with this part of yourself that is feminine, that is emotional, understanding that by integrating it and you becoming one whole, all of who you are, that you're going to be able to show up in every aspect of your life even better than you are right now, because you'll no longer have that tug of war, that pull and struggle of trying to be one way and fighting against what is who you really are, fighting against that within yourself. Okay. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. This is not a knock on men or any of that. Listen, I love men. Okay. I love my husband and I love good men and I love what men do. And I love their, all the beautiful things about men. You know, what I really love about men is when they see something they want, they go after it. They don't sit there and overthink it. They research it. They come up with a plan and they go get it. That's how your husband got you. That's how my husband got me. That's what I love about men. So I'm not one of these women that's out here like a man hater, none of that. But what I am out here is trying to help women who are struggling with their own emotions and femininity to understand they don't have to do that in order to be successful. They can bring it all together. They can show up as who they are fully and completely and be successful and have the relationships that light up their life and have a business that they love showing up for every day. Okay. So, like I said, that's what I had for you today. Love to hear your comments. Feel free to share them below. Thank you so much. If you are watching live, if you're watching the replay, please let me know you were here. And if you have any thoughts that you don't want to share, you know, in the comments for everybody else to read, you are more than welcome to send me a message, right? That's what I said. You can message me and let me know what you thought. Or if you would like to maybe speak with me personally about something you're going through, then you're welcome to message me as well. However, I'll add this. As women, we like to be invited and we like to be asked. It's why we will get dressed up and look good and keep walking past a man that we're interested in around past his space so that he will notice us and then ask us out or, you know, acknowledge, hey, how you doing? Because we like to be invited. We like to be asked. We don't want to ask or initiate that, right? We like to be pursued. And so if that's your nature, and it's mine too, it's okay. But I also like to seek permission. So if you would like to have a conversation with me, but you don't, you feel like it's a little too forward to send a message or whatever, find some way, send up a smoke flare or a signal and I'll reach out to you. You can drop an emoji, you can whatever. And I will reach out to you and invite you into a conversation that will absolutely change your life. All righty. So thank you so much for watching and you enjoy the rest of your day. All righty.